Students, this is Dr. K. Shivaya, Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Shantiram College of Pharmacy. Our next topic is endocrine system. It is endocrine system. It is one of system. It consists of endocrine glands. Here the meaning of endo at the end. You know the meaning of end. So whatever the crine means releasing substance. Crine means one more meaning also is there. Crying, the word coming from the first crying. So endocrine అంటే ఇంటర్నల్గా ఏడవడం అని. So the crine substance released into the bloodstream, that's why it is called endocrine. So in our human body have some glands. The glands crying or secrete into the bloodstream. That's why it is called their system. In our body systems have specific glands. That glands secretes into the bloodstream. That's why it is a endocrine system. Fine. So it is glands. So gland is an organ to secrete the particular chemical substance to either for the growth purpose or digestion purpose or reproduction purpose. So discharge into the surroundings. There are three types of glands in our body: endocrine, exocrine, heterocrine glands. Endocrine glands already we discussed. What does that mean? So directly released into the bloodstream. See, suppose if you take an exocrine glands, exo means here external. So here the secreted substance by the gland into the extracellular fluid, not directly into the bloodstream, or secreted into the duct. So that duct enter into the bloodstream. So that's why they secrete the external, finally it reaches to the bloodstream. These endocrine glands directly secrete into the bloodstream. That's why it is endocrine glands. These are exocrine glands. Heterocrine glands, these glands have the both functions, endocrine function and exocrine function. The few cells act as endocrine, few cells act as exocrine. That's why though we can call it hetero means both exo and endocrine glands. That is the meaning of classification. Then exocrine glands are glands that secrete their products into the ducts. That ducts enter into the bloodstream. Example: sweat glands, salivary glands, mammary glands, stomach, liver. Endocrine glands that secretes their product directly into the blood. Example: pituitary gland, pancreas. Pancreas actually we can hetero, thyroid glands, adrenal glands. Heterocrine glands. So these glands that perform the both exocrine and endocrine functions. For example, pancreas. So suppose if you take a langer of islets, they secrete directly bloodstream. So few enzymes secrete the pancreas that enter into the duct. That duct enter into the duodenum. And duodenum to produce the function. So that's why it is a pancreas heterocrine gland. Endocrine system. So consists of glands and a group of capillaries which facilitates diffusion of hormones to bloodstream. So suppose if this is one gland, that gland whatever this is endocrine cell, we taken one. This is you took the only one gland in that one cell. So they synthesize some hormones. They are formed in vesicles. In that vesicles have the hormones that are directly released into the bloodstream. Without duct. That's why it is endocrine glands are ductless glands. ductless glands. So they are commonly referred as a ductless glands because of the hormones secreted directly to the bloodstream. Then after that they are target to the cell and produces the respective action of the depending upon the function of the hormone. So endocrine system contains so whatever the in our as per the syllabus, so pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas and thymus gland. See step by step, one by one. So pituitary gland. So this is the pituitary gland diagram. So this is anterior lobe is there, posterior lobe is there. This is anterior pituitary, this is posterior pituitary. So these pituitary gland connected to the hypothalamus, through the arterial blood. So this is hypothalamic hypophyseal portal system. So this system hypothalamic and hypophyseal portal system to connect the hypothalamus and pituitary gland. So the pituitary gland, what it consists of? Adenohypophysis. So that is the anterior lobe. It is influenced by hormone which comes from the hypothalamus. So this is this is anterior. Anterior means what? Posterior is back. So these anterior lobe connected with I said already connected with hypothalamus and influenced by the whatever the released hypothalamus directly reach to the pituitary gland. So neurohypophysis, posterior, it is influenced by neurons which convey the hormones directly from hypothalamic nuclei for storage of posterior. So this is it is the anterior lobe directly physical connection, but here the posterior lobe connected through neural. That's why it is a neurophysis. So anterior lobe connected to the this hypophysis is a physical connection. This is nothing but the blood circulation it is will be there. But here the posterior lobe connected to the neurons, hormones. So the pituitary gland secretes the hormones from the anterior lobe: growth hormone, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone. Intermediate lobe between the anterior lobe and posterior lobe is this bridge like structure, it will be there. So it is secretes the A and B melanocyte stimulating hormone. Next, posterior lobe secretes the vasopressin and oxytocin, only two. So this is anterior pituitary. So these anterior pituitary gland connected to the hypothalamus. This is a neuron. So this is a portal circulation. So already I said that this is a hypothalamic hypophyseal portal system. This portal system to connect the hypothalamus. Returner. Okay. So growth hormone, action of growth hormone. If you take one hormone, stimulating of growth of bones, cartilage and connective tissue, and somatomedins are synthesized in the liver in response to stimulation by the growth hormone. So when the growth hormone is released, somatomedins are synthesized in the liver. They are response to the stimulation by the growth hormones. The effect of growth hormone on skeletal growth are mediated by somatomedins. See, once I see the somatomedins are synthesized in the liver. So somatomedins are synthesized in the liver. These somatomedins influence the bone growth. Somatomedins stimulation by the growth hormone. So the growth hormone to stimulate the liver, the somatomedins are released. They influence the bone growth. The growth hormone also to directly affect the bones also. So that is the growth hormone. Effect on protein and mental metabolism. The growth hormone, if taken on protein metabolism, protein anabolic hormone building of proteins. And if you taken on mineral metabolism, increases calcium absorption from GIT, decreases sodium, potassium, calcium and phosphorus excretion from kidney. So when the growth hormone released in bloodstream increases the absorption of calcium from GIT and decrease the secretion of these ions. Effect on carbohydrate and fat metabolism. Growth hormone is a diabetogenic because it produces hyperglycemia. When the growth hormones increases the glucose levels in the blood. And fat metabolism. Growth hormone has catabolic effect, means lysis on fat. That is degradation of fat and produce. So that is about on fat metabolism. So the release of growth hormones is primary under the control of two hypothalamic hormones. Growth hormone releasing hormone, growth hormone emitting hormone. Depending upon these, the levels of either increases or decreases. So which one is influenced? Hypothalamic. The hypothalamic releases these two hormones. So depending upon the body development, the hypothalamus releases the two hormones. Stimulate increase growth hormone. So secretion by the stimulating growth hormone releasing hormone release during exercise and stress. So growth hormone releasing hormone, I think this one, growth hormone releasing, when it is released during exercise and stress conditions, the growth hormone releasing hormone released. Decreases growth hormone secretion by releasing growth hormone releasing hormone, also called as somatostatin. So these growth hormone inhibition hormone, also called as somatostatin, when it is released, when the growth is more, then it will released from the hypothalamus and automatically growth control. So diseases related to growth hormone, gigantism. It is due to overproduction of growth hormone due to adolescence, during adolescence. See, I said last slide, growth hormone inhibiting hormone, if it is not released properly, so actually this is a normal person, this is gigantism. So this is overproduction of growth hormone. It is characterized by tall stature, bilateral gynecomastia, large hand and feet. Acromegaly, it is due to extensive secretion of growth hormone during adulthood. So this one also one type of disease when the growth hormone released more. It is characterized by broad thick nose, thickening of the skin thick, prominent brow and proanthism, elongation and widening of the mandible. So this is maxilla, this is mandible. The mandible length widening, this is called as achromatic. So the person is different from the normal person. So the forehead also widening. This is dwarfism. This is a deficiency of growth hormone secretion. The growth hormone, releasing hormone, that one affected, or maybe deficiency of release of growth hormones releasing from the hypothalamus. So these effects are releasing, synthesizing in the pituitary gland. So these are affecting the dwarfism, shortness. So what is the characteristics? Shortness of stature, small genitalia, so all sex organs are small, delicate extremities, and extremities nothing but these hands and legs are very delicate. Next hormone is the prolactin. Action of prolactin. Prolactin plays an important role in the development of the mammary gland in milk synthesis. This is also synthesized from the anterior pituitary gland. Control of prolactin secretion. They act via stimulating the prolactin releasing factor. So exercise, emotional stress, pregnancy and breastfeeding. So these are all influence the exercise, emotional stress, pregnancy and breastfeeding. These are all activities acting as a stimulating factors, for releasing of prolactin from the anterior pituitary gland. So when it is released, automatically the milk production is happen in the mammary gland. Inhibitors which is released by the hypothalamus. So what are the inhibitory factors? So inhibitors, these released from the hypothalamus directly. It is not activities. So the hypothalamus inhibits the prolactin secretion from the anterior pituitary. Dopamine may be the main prolactin inhibiting factor. So hypothalamus releases the dopamine. That dopamine inhibits the prolactin release. Hormones of anterior pituitary gland. Next, thyroid stimulating hormone. It stimulates the thyroid gland to produce thyroxine, triiodothyronine. Thyroxine and triiodothyronine. Then also tetraiodothyronine also we can call, yes, that's why it is T4, tetra 4, trio 3, tetraiodothyronine or thyroxine, triiodothyronine. So these T3, T4 mainly to influence the metabolism. Next hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone. It is secreted by the anterior pituitary gland. It is often produced in response to biological stress. So adrenocorticotropic hormone also from the biological stress it is released. Its principal effects increase production and release of corticosteroids. So during stress conditions, these corticosteroids released, the corticosteroids influence the respective organ. Hormones, another, that is follicle stimulating hormone. It is synthesized and secreted from the anterior pituitary gland. Follicle stimulating hormone regulates the development or growth, pubertal maturation and reproductive process of the body. So in the ovary follicle it will be there. this follicle maturation purpose, growth purpose and pivotal maturation purpose, so help. So that is follicle ante follicle, stimulating ante stimulation hormone present in the ovary. So finally what happened when it is a follicle stimulating hormone continuously stimulates the follicle, so it is ready for the release of ovum. Next hormone is the luteinizing hormone. It is a hormone produced by the anterior pituitary gland. So in females, luteinizing hormone triggers ovulation and development of corpus luteum. In males, it stimulates the production of testosterone. So hypothalamus releases the gonadotropin releasing hormone. That gonadotropin releasing hormone stimulates the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland releases the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Luteinizing hormone stimulates the ovary. In that ovary, the follicles releases the estrogen and progesterone. When these levels more, this inhibit the gonadotropin releasing hormone. So it is a negative feedback mechanism. Then if you take a male testis, in males, the luteinizing hormone stimulates the testis and releases the testosterone. When these levels more, it inhibits the pituitary as well as the hypothalamus. So pituitary gland releases the luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulation. When it is happen, gonadotropin releasing hormone doesn't. These gonadotropin releasing hormone, when it is released hypothalamus, when it is more activated, it's depending upon the situation, stress, conditions. Situation is, but when the age it takes place, then automatically the gonadotropin releasing hormone released, then automatically pituitary gland stimulated. Because of growth, gonadotropin releasing hormone stimulates the pituitary gland to influence the release of luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. That luteinizing hormone affects the ovaries and testes and releases the testosterone and estrogens. So these testosterone influence the secondary sexual characteristics, means physical development in the males affects, in estrogen progesterone affect in females secondary sexual characteristics. Then intermediate lobe. So between the anterior and posterior pituitary gland, the intermediate lobe present. This one is green color, intermediate lobe. So the intermediate lobe A and B, so nothing but alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone, beta melanocyte stimulating hormone. So what is these functions? They stimulate the production of melanin by melanocytes in skin and hair. So these melanin are very essential for the hair and skin. The melanin is a black color. So for the black color production, the more melanocytes, more black production will be there. So the melanocytes, these are the melanocytes. So when the melanocytes stimulated the melanin secretion, these melanin black in color. The melanin to protect from the UV rays and some then these melano stimulating hormone, melanocyte stimulating hormone signals to the brain have affects the on appetite and sexual arousal. Melanocyte stimulating hormone signals to the brain. So these melanocyte stimulating hormone effects on appetite. Appetite means akali, and sexual arousal. Sexual arousal means habituation or a feeling. So posterior pituitary gland. So this is the back side, posterior pituitary gland. So these posterior pituitary gland connected to the neurons. The posterior pituitary gland connected to the neurons. This posterior pituitary gland releases the oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone is also called as vasopressin. So antidiuretic hormone vasopressin, it is a hypothalamic hormone synthesized in the cells of supraoptic nucleus. So these it is stored in posterior pituitary. It is synthesized in the hypothalamus but stored in the posterior pituitary gland. Stored in the posterior pituitary gland. And also adrenal gland also. So functions of antidiuretic hormone, it is a two primary function. It is to retain water in the body to constrict blood vessels. So these aldosterone hormone, reabsorption of water in the renal tubules, nothing but nephron. In nephron, you know already, in the nephron have the proximal convoluted tube, distal convoluted tubules, collecting ducts. Especially distal collecting ducts and in collecting ducts, it absorbs the more water. So when the water increases in the blood volume increases. When the blood volume increases, blood pressure increases. So it is that's why it is retain means reabsorption of water in the body. And also one more point, it is constricts the blood vessels. So when the blood vessel constricted, blood pressure increases. So that's why the aldosterone hormone important role in the blood pressure. Diabetes insipidus. It is a condition characterized by excessive thirst, excretion of large amounts of severely dilated polyuria. So it is the excessive or abnormally large production of urine, at least 2.5 or 3 liters in adults. Okay. So if the antidiuretic hormone, if it is not released, there is no reabsorption of water. There is no reabsorption of water. Then automatically the more urine formation, because of more water excreted into the urinary bladder. So that is the case. Oxytocin. Oxytocin is synthesized in the hypothalamus, stored in the posterior pituitary lobe of the pituitary gland. Same. So this is a posterior pituitary lobe. So here the oxytocin is synthesized in the hypothalamus. So they are coming through the neurons. They are stored in posterior pituitary gland. So oxytocin action, oxytocin stimulates the contraction of mammary gland to produce milk, stimulate the contraction of smooth muscles of the uterus. Smooth muscles of the uterus. Next, thyroid gland.